going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here to break down and predict the New England Patriots 2021 schedule, giving you my game-by-game analysis, game-by-game prediction, letting you know if I think it's a good matchup for the Patriots, a bad matchup for the Patriots, and giving you my record prediction for their 2021 regular season. So before I give you that record prediction, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL record predictions just like this. Check out the playlist for the rest of the AFC East and see where the Patriots land. Also, let me know in the comment section below how you think the Patriots are going to do. Do you think they're going to do well? Do you think they're going to bounce back, get into the playoffs in 2021? Or do you think this team is going in reverse? They're going backwards. They're going to lose again. They're going to miss the playoffs again. Let me know in the comment section below, Pats fans, how you feel about New England this season. Let's get right into that schedule and break these games down. Week number 1, they take on the Miami Dolphins. I think New England, just like last year, they start off hot. And if you're curious who I think will be the starting quarterback, I think it will be Cam Newton, and I think it will be Cam Newton for the entirety of the season because I think Cam's going to start strong. He is going to finish strong this season, and I think this team's going to be winning football games, spoiler alert. So I believe that they'll be a good team, and I believe part of that will be because they have a stable quarterback, and they won't allow themselves, Cam won't allow them to put in Mac Jones this year, and I think that's the ideal situation for us as Patriots fans and for Bill Belichick. He wants his rookie quarterback to sit, and we want, at least I think most of us want, to have 1 year of Cam Newton having success. So, Patriots get the win at home week 1, just like last year. They come out with some creative offensive schemes. Those 2 tight end sets, the new wide receivers, gives a boost to the offense, takes the Dolphins defense by surprise, and they win this game with a big defensive performance, putting some pressure on Tua, getting that win at home, starting strong. Week number 2, they play the Jets. This is a rookie quarterback, and we know as Patriots fans how Bill Belichick performs versus rookie quarterbacks. It's pretty good, okay? The Jets are still a long ways away. I think New England goes 2-0. Now, week number 3 is pretty tough. The Saints, not an easy game. Now, it's no longer Drew Brees. I think this is fortunate that they're at home because I would not want to go into the Superdome. That's always a difficult place to play. It's always loud. It's always rowdy. I do think there's going to be some ups and some downs for Jameis Winston all year long. I think this is going to be a down because the Patriots, I just look at the matchup, and yes, the Saints have a good offensive line, but really the Saints don't have a lot of weaponry to threaten New England with, right? They can double team Thomas with whoever they like, whether that's Gilmore and a safety, J.C. Jackson and a safety, and then they can lock everybody else up. Pay attention to Kamara. They're not really going to be able to do much. I think the other side of things, the Patriots have the offensive line to block the Saints. They can beat them down the middle of the field with their tight ends, and I think they'll have success. Plus, Cam is familiar with New Orleans, so that helps. So I'm going to go with the Patriots week number 3. So 3-0. They play Tampa Bay week number 4. Tom Brady comes back to town. This is the game of the year, in my opinion. I am so pumped for this game as a Patriots fan and as a Tom Brady fan. It's going to be just epic and memorable. I think this game will be really close. I actually really like the matchup from a football X's and O's standpoint. I'm really intrigued to see how New England lines up and tries to run the ball versus the best run defense in the league. I'm intrigued to see how Tampa will cover these tight ends. I'm interested to see how Belichick will defend Tom Brady and how Brady will attack Bill Belichick. At the end of the day, I could see New England pulling this one off in an upset because Bill Belichick, knowing Brady, that will certainly be very competitive on that side of things. But I'm just not sure New England's offense will be able to do enough versus Tampa's stout defense. I just don't think it's a great matchup on that side of the ball. So I think Tampa will be able to squeeze out a defensive win. I don't actually think Tom Brady is going to be the difference maker in this game, but I do think his team will ultimately win the game just because they're the overall better team. It will be like a 20-17 type of win for Tampa Bay, I think. Week number 5, they play the Texans. They have struggled in Houston as of late, but that was with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson will not be playing this year for my money. It will likely be Tyrod Taylor, who New England's had a lot of success against, and I think the Patriots will win this game. Actually, the Texans reportedly have had some interest in Jarrett Stidham, so maybe it's even Jarrett Stidham. Who knows? Week number 6, the Dallas Cowboys in New England. Dallas has a really good passing game, a really good offense, and when their offensive line's healthy and Dak is healthy, they can really click and put up points. So their defense, New England's defense versus Dallas's offense, is going to be one of the marquee matchups of this season for me. I think New England's going to have an awesome defense. I think the Dallas Cowboys will have an awesome offense. It's really the other side of the ball that will determine things. I think the Patriots being at home, the Patriots having a handle of the Cowboys offense 2 years ago in a similar game, right? And then the ability to run the ball, keep Dak on the sidelines versus a defense that's not very good at stopping the run. I think the Patriots come out with a win here. And I actually think this is a pretty decisive victory, actually. Week number 7, they play the Jets at home. I think this is another win. Honestly, bro. Like, I think eight weeks in the season, they only have one loss, and it's to the champs. Like, you look at this schedule, it is very easy. The toughest games they play are obviously the Bucs and the Saints, back-to-back, in my opinion. And they have a lot of home games. They have the Dolphins, they have the Saints, they have the Bucs is a home game, the Cowboys, the Jets, all home games. They should be able to win at least 5 of those games. I'd be upset if they weren't 5-2 or better at this point. Week 8, they play the Chargers in LA. That's going to be a tough game. I think the addition of Brandon Staley as the coach is going to be something that totally changes this rivalry because the Chargers and the Patriots have played many times, usually with Phillip Rivers and usually with a lackluster coach. And the reason New England wins is because they out-scheme their opponent in this matchup, even though the Chargers have largely been more talented in a lot of these marquee games, outside of maybe 2007, but that was about it. Mostly it's been Tom Brady and Bill Belichick beating Phillip Rivers and the opposing coach. And I just think in this game this year, with the way they've been rolling, they're due for a loss. I think the Chargers, Justin Herbert's going to make some big throws in this game under pressure and at home, going from the opposite side of the country all the way to LA. It's just a tough travel. It's a tough just spot overall. So I think the Chargers will win that game. Week number 9, they play the Panthers. Panthers, the Patriots. The Panthers have beat the Patriots the last couple of times. I know this because my best friend's a Panthers fan, and he always tells me about it, but I just remember it because of that. But it's usually been Cam Newton that's beaten the Patriots. This game to me is for sure a lock of a victory because this is Cam Newton revenge game. Cam Newton will maybe have his best game of his entire year in this game just for the pure fact that he'll be motivated like gangbusters. So week 9, they'll win that game. Week 10, they play the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is one of the best teams in the NFL. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL. And I think the matchup to watch is going to be Cleveland's offense versus New England's defense. And Cleveland's ability to run the football versus New England, that is going to decide this game. Can New England hold up in run defense? This will be the biggest test to date in that regard all season long, right? They play, Tampa will be tough. The Saints will be tough in that regard, but nothing like the Browns to this point. So that's going to be the first true sign of can they defend the run this year? Because they really hadn't seen it yet, right? The Chargers, the Jets, the Cowboys, the Texans. These teams can't run the ball. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to lean towards the Browns because I think the Browns are the more talented team. I think I can trust them to win. But I do think New England has a good shot of pulling the upset in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if they won because I think their ability, with their own run game, with their tight ends, with that ability to really attack the weakness of the Browns defense, that could give them actually a chance to win in almost a shootout type game if need be. So that's going to be an interesting watch in week 10. But week 11, they play Thursday night versus Atlanta. It doesn't appear Julio is going to be on the Atlanta Falcons, so that changes things entirely. But this matchup would be the secondary of New England versus the weapons of Atlanta. I'm leaning towards New England just because Atlanta's defense is so bad. This is a Thursday night game. Cam's familiar with playing the Atlanta Falcons and specifically being in Atlanta. You know, that's a showcase game for him. I think the Patriots will win that game, and I think they'll win that game. It will be close because I think, you know, Dean Pease, Arthur Smith, that's a good coaching staff. I think they'll put together a good game plan. Matt Ryan, obviously respectable quarterback. I think that will be close, but I think New England will pull it out on Thursday, which is never easy to do on the road. Week 12, they play the Titans. They typically lose to the Titans. I'm not even going to lie here. I think they actually beat the Titans. I think they finally beat the Titans. And I think the biggest reason is because those two coordinators have left to Atlanta. And I think they've taken their schemes to Atlanta. I think New England primarily struggled with Dean Pease's defense. That was really the problem, right? Tom Brady, they didn't have enough weapons. Dean Pease really knew this offense well with Tom Brady at the helm. It's a different quarterback. This game's at home. I think they'll do enough to defend the run of Derrick Henry. A.J. Brown's really the only receiver that you have to worry about. I just think New England is the better team. And at home, I'm not going to pick against them there. Week 13, they play the Bills. Maybe the marquee game of the season outside of the Bucs. This is on Monday Night Football. This is versus the top dog in the AFC East. I think the Patriots will lose this first game, heading into the bye week at 9-4, looking pretty good and looking like a probable wild card team at this point as the Bills are leading the division. But it will be close. The Bills, the Patriots, I think both games will be real tight, one-possession games. So then they have the bye week. Then they come out of the bye week versus the Colts. I think the bye week really helps them prepare for this game versus the Colts, which I think would be a pretty tough game. Frank Reich's ability to scheme. Carson Wentz is a wild card in terms of his ability. He could be really good or really bad. And then you have the ability up front with the Colts where they're good on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I think the Colts could pull this one off. But it's hard for me to say the Colts will beat the Patriots when they don't have Peyton Manning. So I'm going to say the Patriots win this game. But I could see it going either way, and I wouldn't be mad at you if you said the Colts would win the game. Week 16, the Bills and the Patriots. I think New England splits with the Bills this year. They were very close to splitting with the Bills last year. They should have, actually. Last play of the game, Cam Newton fumbles the ball running into the end zone. That was the end of things. And we know this is a much better team this year, much better roster. I think they've built their defense to beat the Bills this year. So that is going to be, I think, the matchup. It probably will be cold in this game, right? It's week 16. It might even be a division, changer, right? So I could see New England winning, losing, they need to split versus the Bills if they hope to win this division. They really do. If they drop both games to the Bills, they likely will not win this division. Week 17, they play a rookie quarterback. We know how that goes. It's in New England. This is actually a game I could see being 38-7. New England has a game every year in December where they beat a bad team by 40 points. And that's probably going to be this game. Sorry, Jags fans. And the final week of the season, they play in Miami. And whether they need to win or not, I think they're going to lose this game. Just because they always lose in Miami. And they always lose in Miami basically no matter what. And no matter how good the Dolphins are. So there's no real analysis. It's just I think New England is going to drop this game for whatever reason. So I see New England at 12-5, 11-6-ish. I think maybe even 13-4, man. Honestly, I think they could be that good. It really depends on Cam, but I do think we're going to see better out of Cam with the weaponry they've surrounded him with. The defense is going to be off the charts good. I think they're going to be one of the best running games in football, and I think they're going to be a complete team. So Bill Belichick's going to have his revenge, and they'll be back in the playoffs. I think probably as a wild card team behind the Bills, but I wouldn't be shocked if they won the division this year, depending on how they play within the division. So that's where I see it right now. I'm high on New England, as typically I am, for good reason. And I think in 2021, they'll be back in the playoffs. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think I'm out of my mind? Do you think I'm an idiot? Or do you think I'm a genius? Thanks for watching. It's Mitch. Peace.